What's going on, everyone? Nicholas Natt with Natt Fitness, bringing you a message for this year's holiday season. So the 2023 holiday season is upon us, which is exciting because we're gonna get a chance to connect with friends, families, but that also means that we're gonna be doing some traveling. We all know what comes with traveling and holiday parties, baked goods, and let's face it, you've been consistent all year and you've been working hard at staying consistent. Maybe you haven't been 100%, but you've been pretty good. And here comes the travel. Travel is very difficult because travel takes you outside of your element. And if you don't plan ahead, that it could be very hard to juggle exactly where you're gonna eat, exactly where you're gonna train. And you're also on the schedules of other people. And so you have to make sure that you're allocating time outside of all the other activities. Now, on the other side, you might be in a position where you're not traveling, but then you get invited to holiday parties because you got the spouse's holiday party, and then you got your parents' holiday party, and then you got your work holiday party. And so these little things that normally wouldn't throw you off on the weekday or the weekend begin to stack up, and they begin to take away your focus, and you start finding yourself indulging just a little bit more. Then you also might be in a position where you're just like, look, it's the time of the year, I've worked hard, I deserve this. And then you got friend one who fell off his or her goal 4 months ago, and this one who's just like, you gotta live a little bit, it's about the holidays, it's about fun. And they don't buy into what you're doing, which means that they really have a very short-term interest. And so you find yourself every night having this proverbial conversation. Should I indulge and let myself live, or do I try to adhere and stick to my goals? Because the New Year's around the corner, and it's very easy, let's just be honest, for people to say, well, come New Year's, I'm really gonna get after it. I've been good, I'm gonna take a little bit off and I'm gonna go. And there's nothing wrong with being able to enjoy yourself. So I wanna touch on that for a little bit, because the consensus can often be that you have to be on 100%. Decadent foods are meant for your enjoyment. They extend your life, they allow us to connect, and there's a time and a place for that. However, having accountability and having discipline is not a prison statement. It's actually something that's gonna empower you to feel good. So if we're in a position where we're taking in some of these decadent foods, let's just say that they're high in sugar. Sugar adds to inflammation. Inflammation is going to ruin your cognition. So it's gonna affect the way that you're gonna thinking. And in a very exciting time, the holidays, where it's about connecting with people and having fun and making memories, you're probably gonna feel at your lowest because of a biological setup that's setting you up to fail. When we really think about it from a backwards looking forwards perspective, the more that you enjoy yourself and the less accountability you have, the more you're gonna begin to play with emotions and, more importantly, hormones, which is gonna create volatility. So here is my suggestion to you, these three things. First and foremost, make a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Knowing that you're gonna have certain holiday parties, knowing that there's gonna be certain times, is gonna empower you ahead of time to say, okay, I know that there's gonna be temptation at home because maybe there's gonna be extra cookie or candies or decadent foods. Or I know that I'm gonna be going out with the friends. Normally we do our happy hour on Thursdays, but Saturday or Sundays there's gonna be other things going on. So if you make that plan about when you're gonna cut out certain things, it's more likely that you're gonna be more disciplined and you're gonna feel better about adhering and keeping up with your goals, all while still enjoying some of the fun stuff. Second, don't stop the fitness routine. Even if, worst case scenario, you fall off and you overindulge, it's important that you don't go to the gym and start punishing yourself, because that can cultivate a bad relationship and it can also cultivate a bad habit. What you want to do is think to yourself about going back to the gym and doing that consistent thing. And if you're used to operating at 3 days a week or 4 days a week, or doing some HIIT cardio or doing some sessions, there's nothing wrong with going and taking an extra walk. But most importantly, you just want to make sure you're sustaining and being consistent. And this is exceptionally important when it comes to travel. Traveling in different time zones can have a wear on your energy. It's also cold and flu season. Doing that can also have a huge pressure on the immune system. So working out is one of those things that can definitely help regulate your immune system, allow you to feel strong, and prevent you from being sick. The last thing is, let's just talk about the emotions. As I said again, the holiday season is about fun and it's about connecting. And ultimately, you want to make sure that your body and your mind are primed to enjoy the max of that capacity. And so having discipline is really a fortifying belief that I have that's going to empower you and make you feel good about the decisions that you make. And if you are giving in to temptation, you're breaking your commitment to yourself, right? There's this saying that goes, the reason that you struggle when it comes to commitment is because your mind is the only one that can hear all the voices in your head. And so knowing that, you get the privilege of deciding, Do I want to let these voices over here that are trying to deter me away from my goal and ultimately rob me of my joy, of my fulfillment, of my vitality, my energy? Or do I want to listen to these voices over here, which are a guiding light to my goals, a guiding light to the things that are most important, and they lead to me having more energy and feeling abundant. So going into the holiday season, don't just think with what you might be missing out on, because then it's easy to just make the decisions that are going to be immediately gratifying. But it's not always about delayed gratification. I think if you're able to put yourself in a position looking backward, you'd ask yourself, how do I want to feel? How do I want to look? And most importantly, how do I want to feel about the way that I look? And if you can do that, then you can make the important decisions around how you're going to live and how you're going to be disciplined this holiday season. And this will be a lifestyle because you can carry that going into the New Year's, as opposed to having to starting and stopping and worrying about being a part of the New Year's resolution trend. So if this has been a word for you, I invite you to come have more connections, more conversations about other tools that I've been able to implement with my community on how we can support each other, but also be more disciplined going into the New Year's and going into the holiday season and remaining on track. And that way we're coming out in gear 5 as opposed to starting over and having to be back in gear 1. That's something you're interested in. I invite you to click the link below, have the connection, the conversation. I look forward to having more conversations with you on one of my platforms. Till next time, signing off.